Okay, how do I see?
And we are live. Good morning, everyone. I am Becky Norwood with Spotlight Publishing. This is Tom Loegering. He is with Sun City Country Club and golf programs in schools. And today is his book launch for Success or Failure. The choice is yours. Tom, we are live.
Oops,
Good morning, everyone. I am Becky Norwood with Spotlight. We are getting both. We're getting some feedback here. So, Tom, what prompted you? This is the third revision in your book. What prompted you to take and have a rewrite and publish it in the way that you have?
Well, the biggest problem that I've had in the past with my book is that I actually did a survey. I sold about 2,000 books, and that's over time. And so I did a survey of the people, and I got about 80% of those that bought books. And I asked them, well, what did you do? How did you use the book, and did it benefit you? Was there any benefit from this? And comments were 70% they made changes, but they were small changes. They appreciated the book, but to my mind, they didn't get the real benefit. But 30% said they actually made life-changing, altered their behavior by reading the book, and basically wound up with a balanced life. That was amazing to me. So I started to question those that did the work, and then the ones that said that it didn't really matter to them. And what they wound up with is they started reading the book, and they would get to a spot and they'd start writing, and they'd go off on a tangent, but then they never came back to the book. So they got the small increment that, oh yes, this is good, and I'm going to start. No, don't get started, and no action until the plan is in place. That's what I'm trying to tell people. The book is a roadmap. It starts out with chapter 1, and if you see in the front cover, this is the old cover. But you start. Most people didn't get past this button here. They read some of it, but they didn't start to get over to this part, which is live your life well. So define success. What does it mean to you? So success is achieving goals. That's what success means. But what I'm trying to show people is, what's happiness? Happiness is wanting the goals you achieve. And you won't be, if you understand that you actually are in control of everything that happens in your life. If something happens bad, just hold up a mirror and look in it. There's the person that caused you your problem. I mean, I go through this all the time, so it's not anything new to me. But most books tell you how to make money, how to do this one thing. And what I'm trying to show to people is it's not me telling you what you need to do to be happy in your life or to have a productive life. It's you. And so I'm giving you the roadmap so that you can decide what in your life makes you happy. What is it when you're finished with your time on earth, as it is, what is it that you want on your tombstone? What do you want to say about why did you exist? Mm-hmm. I exist to eat some food and to have some drink and have a good time. No, well, that's okay, but what did you do that is impactful and really said why you are on the planet? So anyway, you get balance, and then I give you 6 steps. These are not mine. This is a program that I followed, Think and Grow Rich with Napoleon Hill. He's the cornerstone or foundation of almost every self-help book. There's a couple that go in a different direction, but it works. But his only goes to make money. Constantly make money. When you get this much, then you want more. Well, I was on that treadmill, and it isn't as much fun or productive as far as your entire life goes. Then it gets into how to get started, and then understand that you're a business. In fact, today, here's my book. So that this is the thing that I'm trying to show, and I got to figure out how it fits in the camera.
There you go.
It goes in this direction. I'm going backwards, so I have to turn.
You've got
But
it. You've got it fine. Yes.
this is the start of how it goes and what the idea of it is. And the whole purpose of it is first to start, and as you go through the whole map, is to live your life well. And who gets to decide that other than yourself? That's really the why of it.
Well, I really liked when I was going through the book is that it was a step-by-step process, and the questions that were asked were making you really think about what is it that you truly want. And the way you presented it was really quite beneficial, because it really made you kind of go deep, especially if you took the time to answer the questions that you proposed, and then work into kind of an action plan that was you could follow if you put everything to work in the right way. So you've done a really good job with the book. So who would you say? I know that you have some amazing things that you do with young people, and I know that you also have a passion for young people to be able to start out on their road at a young age, very successfully, with the discipline that is needed to be able to be successful as adults. And you have golf programs in schools. You've got a lot of amazing things that you do to make a difference. And your hope with this book is that parents will take the time to go use this book with their own children.
That is a huge part of why I did this additional part, that I went from about 60 pages to over 100. And it's all this financial idea and planning and budgeting. Like one of the things in our program that we give out, it's a 5-day program, 4 days on campus. I'm part of the school curriculum. I'm just like a teacher. I'm in every gym class. And we take the kids, 5th and 9th graders, through our program. Well, on Friday, we teach chipping, and they chip a golf ball and put it into a bucket. If they get in the bucket, they get $1. And I listen to them, and they all say, "Oh, I got it in. I got this $1." And they can't think of anything other than what they're going to do with that $1 to spend it. And
Right.
What I'm trying to teach, and if the kids are that way, then I'm thinking the parents are that way. So the book is now written for the parents to read it and try to explain this to their kids, but they'll have to be able to do it themselves in order to explain it to the kids. And that's the real emphasis here, because I put in some puzzles and some things to think about financial things. But one of the things I put in there was primarily, most kids think about having, when they get to be adult, they think about having a car, and I say, yeah, having a car. There's one of the things I put in there. How much does it cost a person to buy a $25,000 vehicle when they're age 25? How much did that cost them when they're 65? And the answer is 8%. If you could earn 8% on your money, which is very possible in today's real world. But if you can do that, what is the outcome of that? And the outcome is that $25,000 car cost you, the opportunity cost is about $600,000 by the time you're 65. So I try to show them, I'm not saying don't have a car. I'm saying don't think it's free because you can afford the payment. You have to look at opportunity costs. That just means I have X amount of dollars and I can put it into plan A, B, C, or D, or I can keep it and invest it. And what's the balance? And that's one of the things I want to show people, is having balance in your life, but it's balance in your financial life. Because if you have a job, I want you to think, in fact, I had this conversation with one of my managers here at the golf course today, who's reading the book, and he says, well, I kind of do see myself as a business. My wife takes care of the bills and she pays them, and I make sure there's money coming in. I said, that's not really
That's not it.
that's not a business. A business is for profit. So what are you doing that gets your money to work for you so you don't have to work for your money? And that's really what it's so simple. If you understand compound interest, if you understand how much people spend in their life, every person in America has a approximate amount of money that they spend on different things. It's generally 60% of your income, total income, you spend on your lifestyle. So if you make $20,000 a year, or you make $20 million a year, you're going to spend 60% on lifestyle. And I have to admit, there was a time when I was making more money that I had a very high lifestyle, and I figured out with my wife, we sat and talked when I was doing the book, and I said, are you happy with this lifestyle? Are you happy with what we're doing? She says, no, I really don't. I don't really I like some of the things. I like to travel and things like that.
Mhm.
The rest of this, buy something because my neighbor has it, does not really interest me.
Right.
We had a reevaluation. So that's why we moved from a very big house in Manhattan Beach, California, to a very small house with a big backyard here in Arizona. So life is just different. We came over and bought a golf course for the same price that I sold my house for.
It's
So,
amazing.
it's
So,
just, what do you want? And what is the thing that you're going to project that you have lived your life well?
to a large degree, they don't teach this type of stuff in school, which is when it's a real shame, because I know I have 10 grandkids, and I watch how they get something in. Even with Easter eggs, there's money inside the Easter eggs that they get, and the first thing they want to do is go out and buy something. The saving is no, I got to go buy this. They don't really need anything. They have enough.
That is the exact point of why I wrote this extra edition, is so in the downtime that we have now, and nobody knows how long it's going to be.
No, we don't.
So the point is, the book now is out and available as of today, I believe, that they can go online and buy it, and it will give them answers to questions that they haven't thought to ask yet. And they need to ask these things, that how it impacts their kids. Every place in the country, they say Americans are consumers. Well, we're more than just a consumer. We're also very productive. And that's really the thing that we want to do. We want to show the kids, yes, it's okay to get an Easter egg with $1 in under $10. Well, what do you do with it? You budget. 60% goes to your lifestyle, 10% goes for insurance. You have taxes, and you get down to, generally in this country, people have less than 4% of their total income, no matter how much they make. They have less than 4% for investment, and they usually don't invest. So
Right.
that just gets frittered away. And that's the whole point of this book, is I want people to think of their lives as a business. If you're a husband and wife and you've got kids, you have to know about budgeting so that you can impact that onto your kids. You can impart this information to your kids. And what better to start at a young age to start saving money? You hate to look like this and decide, oh, hey, I think I better save for my retirement. Well,
Right.
it might be a little, compound interest doesn't mean as much to me when I'm my age, but it did when I wrote the book. So
Very cool.
that's really the big part of it.
How many people have you mentored, Tom?
Over 1,000. I'm a ex-certified SCORE mentor, so I've done a lot of mentoring as just far as business goes. But of the 2,000 people that have bought my book, and that's another thing, that if you buy my book, you get 2 months of free mentoring. You just go online, reach me, and you send me questions, and I respond to that. But over 800 that have been just on their business plans and things like that. And that's full mentoring. That's not just meeting somebody and saying, oh, you should be a business. Think of your life as a business. It's not, I'm talking about full mentoring and working with them. And some people I've worked with for over 8 years. And I've also been teaching victims of domestic violence at Eve's Place. And the feedback I get from, because you don't want to know people's names, so we don't deal with names in a shelter. You deal with them as a human being, and that's it. So we talk to them on a different level of how things go. So they do email me, and I will know pretty much what person that is, but I never put I never connect it to that person as a victim. So, but I still get people reaching out to me about they'll run into a problem. Well, I've been doing this, and the book says I should do this. Well, this didn't work for me, or how should I work this? And I do about 650 emails a day, and most of my business is on email. So
wow.
That's how I mentor.
You certainly lead by example, and that is just totally beautiful and amazing. And for those that are listening to this, if you go to Amazon and type in Tom's name, or we'll put the link down below or in the comment box, his book is available. It's the 3rd edition, and it's available right now on Amazon. The Kindle version's 99 cents. Then the print version, what did we say? I can't remember. I gotta check it real quick. It is $20, and make sure that you take advantage within the book that you were able to say to get a hold of Tom. And if you want the mentoring, it's really valuable time that you can spend to really change the course of your future. And Tom has we're going to do a couple more interviews today with other co-authors that are in the book that have written a chapter. And because you believe that it's that balance. We have the balance of really taking good care of ourselves, and it's more than the money. It's about our health. It's about our the way we live every aspect, and even in our thoughts, the magic of our thoughts. And so
that's it's a huge part of how the book works to balance, because David Phelan handles and helps people. He has an online course to help people with anxiety. And in today's world, 70% of Americans in this pandemic have very high anxiety levels. So it just happens that this is working out well in that regard. And then the other one is a method of which is Octavite, which is a food supplement that I use. I've been on it for 4 years. I keep my weight down. I'm still able to ride my motorcycle and do all kinds of different things because I'm healthy. And that's a very big part of that thing. And then the third one is my son, TJ, and Margaret Ortiz. They have a property management business, and that's part of it, is to show that people can start a business that is low cost to entry. In other words, you don't want to start a restaurant because they're very expensive to start. But if you have an ease of entry with something that you have background in, it's a good field to get into. So it's a whole balance that the book is encompassing, and it works on every level. It works for kids, it works for adults, it works for families, works for individuals.
Very good. Well, it's been a delightful interview with you, Tom, and so appreciate how you lead by example. You've always impressed me because of what you're doing, how much you care about other people, and in particular that you work with the kids in such an amazing way and help them to become leaders for our world, because that's such an important thing to have happen. The guidance that you give is just amazing. So this book is available. I hope that if you're listening or will come back and listen to this again, or find it as you're going about your daily activities, because we're broadcasting it this way, that you'll go and pick up the book that's available on Amazon. Thank you, Tom. This was a beautiful, beautiful interview.
My pleasure. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. And we have ended.